to Soul Connect. I'm your host, Jo Labbé, and we are here today to take care of you. Soul Connections is all about helping our light workers and our audience do some self-care. We often are really focused on, taking care of others and making sure that they get what they need, and we sometimes, deplete ourselves. And so this weekly show at 7 o'clock Eastern is all about that. Let's take care of you. Let's do some healing for you. Let's help you tap into your spiritual team. And so, Soul Connections is here on Star Nations Radio Network, part of our live stream shows. And we, get broadcast through Be Live TV, and it gets out to you in Facebook land and out in YouTube so that you can check in when it's convenient for you. This is this great, we have this great evening of healing and divine messages. So I pull cards for everyone who asks. I don't assume you want a card if you're around. So all you have to say is yes, please. And you only have to say it once because we'll make sure to read a card for every single person who asks. And I draw them in the order that they appear in our broadcast studio, which might be a little bit different than the feed that you might be watching it on in the show. So tonight's card deck, the last time we're going to use this right now is called the Peace Oracle. It's Tony Carmen Salerno and Leela Williams. And this has been the kicker. It's the challenging guidance for challenging times. And boy, I know people have been going through a lot of challenging energy, and hopefully the fact that my team said this is the last time for this deck for a while means we're into new energy and ready to rock and roll. So if you know some other people who could use some self-care and could really benefit from doing some healing work on themselves, doing the healing meditation, or maybe they've been asking for guidance in some different ways. And here's a way for them to get a card reading and have my spiritual team connect with theirs and, bring a message of what's going on and what do we need to work on right now. So that's most of the busy stuff. I'd love to say thank you to my co-pilot, Neshi Lokatz. She's here running the chat room for me so that I can really be focused on you guys and the healing. So I see there are a number of people in the house. So I'm really glad to see you guys are already here and are ready to rock and roll. What other pieces of housework do we have? Okay. The other thing is, if you would like to do some really take some time to do some really good self-care for yourself, I will be at Star Nations Academy, our beautiful building in Tomah, Wisconsin, teaching an empowerment weekend. And that weekend is coming up October 11th through the 13th. And that is a time where we can really look at some of our coping mechanisms. We can look at our belief systems, our patterns that are making it difficult or creating resistance so that we can't move forward or move quickly through challenging times. So sometimes we get caught in a loop energetically. And when we're in that loop, we can't really see a way out. And this is a way for you to do some intensive work on releasing what's getting in your way. Maybe you would like to, start a new business, or you would like to have a new relationship come into your life. Well, lots of times those things don't happen because we've got old energy that's putting up a blockade or a barricade, keeping new things from coming in. So wouldn't it be great to take the walls down and do that? And if you are unable to come to Wisconsin or are out here on the East Coast, I am also doing a similar style weekend in Algonquin, Maine, at the Admiral's Inn on October 4th through the 6th. So 2 weekends in a row. You can catch me in person, and we'll also be doing some healing work, some hands-on healing to move that stuff out of the way so you can actually leave the weekend feeling like you've purged some old stuff and you've got new energy to move forward. So I look forward to seeing some of you in person. It's nice having you in Facebook land, but I'm a big hugger. So I can't wait to hug some of you in person. So with that, why don't we get started on our meditation? So as we do the clearing, we want to make sure we're really super grounded, and it's been hard with the turbulent energy. So I invite you to start by just taking a couple of deep breaths. And with each breath, just feel your connection to your physical body. Feel your breath as it's going in and out. Imagine breathing in divine love energy and blowing out old, stuck resistance energy that doesn't serve you any longer. And just feel the bones and the muscles and the weight of your body fully present. And to ground your energy, I invite you to either connect by creating a grounding cord of connection from your tailbone or your root chakra or your heart chakra all the way down to the very molten lava center of the earth. Or you can visualize roots growing out from the bottom of your feet. And as the roots go beneath the surface, they spread deeper and wider so that they not only go down, but they go out. So that you feel very connected to this earth plane and this physical vehicle that we're in at the moment, that we're loving and supporting and taking care of. So begin by calling in the divine energy, your connection to the divine, whether you experience that as God or Goddess, Creator, oneness, consciousness, however you experience the divine. Welcome that energy in to connect to you and through you for this healing and meditation, for the good of all and harm to none, and welcoming in the fullest and brightest and highest vibrational frequencies in each dimension, direction that we are able to connect to. Just ask the divine energy to surround and protect you in a bubble of infinite love and infinite light, creating a sacred space for you to journey and connect through your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual healing this evening. Now I invite the divine energy to begin to come in through the crown chakra into the third eye, and just begin to bring balance and harmony into our brain, our intuition, our connection to all of the senses in our body, our perception, and our interpretation of all that energy and information.
Yeah. Yeah.
And opening up the channels of communication to our team, expanding our ability to hear messages, to experience messages, and for our desires, wishes, and wants to be heard clearly in the intention that we wish to create in. And also opening up our ears so that we can hear others when we are communicating. Hear not only the words that are spoken, but the nuances and the meaning behind each word. And so we may be heard in the same way, releasing miscommunication from our energy field, filling it with wisdom and understanding. And beginning to open up the throat chakra, making room for our authentic truth to be spoken, heard, received.
Yeah.
And allowing space for our beautiful self-expression. Whatever brings us joy, whatever helps us to connect with joy, love, and abundance.
Yeah.
What sparks our creativity, and all the ways we use our creation energy. Now releasing the energy from our neck, all the stress and tension that we've held there, all the responsibilities and the burdens we've been carrying upon our shoulders. Moving into our lungs and our heart chakra, making room for the divine oxygen to flow through all of our vessels, our arteries, our veins, bringing nourishment to all parts of our body, our bones, our muscles, our tendons.
Yeah.
Making room in the heart to hold more love and compassion, clearing away old disappointment, grief, hurt. In any ways we have collapsed our heart energy to protect us from the energy or the interaction with others or our environment.
Yeah.
And inviting our inner child to come forward for their own healing, releasing them from any wounding that they may be carrying for all of us. And making room for the child to be able to play, create, and experience wonder. And connecting to the inner adult and beginning to release any responsibility and doing that the adult has been caught in. Releasing all of the doing and giving yourself a moment of simply being at peace.
Yeah.
Reminding you how to be a human being rather than a human doing. And connecting to the inner warrior and really allowing space for the warrior to breathe freely as well. There's no more fighting. There's no more stress, just in this moment.
Yeah.
The warrior can release the hypervigilance, knowing that in this very moment is completely safe.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And connecting to our inner wise one, that part of us that connects to the wisdom of each and every lifetime that we have ever learned anything, known anything, and all that wisdom can come to us through a remembering.
Good.
And also connecting to all the knowledge that humanity has created and having the ability to connect to all of that knowing as well, to help us with our intuition.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And connecting to our spiritual team to help guide us and our higher self. And moving down into the solar plexus just below the rib cage, connecting to the energy there and releasing anything that may be stuck. Anything that is squeezing your self-esteem, your self-worth, or your self-confidence. Any energy that has you experiencing a sense of less than or not enough or too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also releasing any energy around anxiety, worry, panic, uncertainty. And even any energy around frustration and anger and resentment, judgment that we may be carrying. And any way that this energy connects to fear, even if it's fear of success, fear of failure, fear of our imperfections, giving space to release that as well.
Rolling. Okay. Rolling. Rolling.
Good. And any energy that we're holding on to that is not in love.
Okay.
And wherever that may be sitting, there's a lot of energy moving around the liver and the pancreas today.
Good.
Giving those organs a break for a moment and allowing them to work easily. Taking all the life stress out of our digestive system as well.
Rolling. Rolling.
And moving down into the sacral chakra, just below the belly button. Beginning to restore harmony and balance to our emotions, to our connections with others, our relationships. That energy of give and receive.
Rolling. Good.
Releasing the energy of make or take.
Good. Rolling.
And releasing any judgment of our emotions as bad or good. And just allowing them to be the internal radar
Yeah.
that they are meant to be. Asking the water energy to flow.
Rolling. 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 Rolling.
And moving down into the root chakra below our tailbone and really anchoring any additional energy that has us feeling unsteady or unsafe.
Yeah.
Even any energy that has us feeling ungrounded or disconnected.
Rolling. 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 Rolling.
And allowing all the released energy to flow down our hips, down our legs, down into the ground, through our cords, through our roots, however we connect deeply within the earth. If we're having trouble feeling that release, you can invite Grandmother Earth or the Divine Feminine to come up to your feet, to your ankles and your calves and your shins, and pull the energy down for you.
Got it.
And then noticing anywhere in your body where you still feel tightness, discomfort, dis-ease, and inviting the divine energy to flow to that spot and gently begin to dissolve it. Whether it is in your right hip, at the base of your neck, behind your left rib cage, below your ribs, Perfect. And now gently inviting the divine feminine energy of Grandmother Earth to come up through our feet and fill all of those places where we allowed old, dense energy to release. Filling us with nurturing, loving, supportive energy. Feeling that as it comes up our legs, the more solid and supported we feel, the ability to walk forward easily in our own lives. Filling our pelvic floor with grounded support. Allowing the energy to flow up the spinal column and through all of our organs. And as it moves up through our body, taking a moment for it to fill in our heart in all of the chambers, allowing our heart chakra to stretch and grow and hold more love and compassion, especially for ourselves. So we have room to share that love energy with others. And as it begins to fill, allowing it to reach our shoulders, to move down our arms and our elbows, down our wrists into our hands. Feeling the divine energy flowing through to everything that we touch. And then allowing the energy to move up through the neck and the throat, up through the base of the skull, all through the head. Allowing it to reach the top of our crown and move out through our aura, cleansing, restoring, and repairing our personal bubble in all of its layers. Filling and restoring our immune system in the way that shields and protects us as well. And even allowing the energy to radiate out through our thoughts and our beliefs, into our connection with spirit, past lives, and even our karmic debt. Sending harmony and balance in every direction, dimension, vibration, and frequency. And I invite you to take a moment to send healing to Grandmother Earth, to all of the places that are having discord right now, the fires that are impacting so many of the other creatures on the planet and our ecosystem. And take a moment of gratitude with your spiritual team for being present, helping you, guiding you as you've done your healing work. And taking a couple of deep breaths and really begin to bring yourself back into this space, into your room, into your body, in case you traveled anywhere. Feel your muscles, your hands, the clothes on your body. Notice the sounds around you, the smells. Perfect. All right, guys. How you doing? I'm nice and itchy, so something was moving. So let's get to it, because we have a number of people who want cards. And remember, all you have to do if you would like a reading is type in yes, please, and we will pull them in the order that they were requested and show up in our broadcast studio, which may not look exactly the way it does in the feed for you. And don't worry if you ask, we'll make sure to get to you. And I keep going until we're all done. That's just how I roll. So we're going to start with Julie Hedges this evening. So Julie, your card, my dear, is contemplation. And the contemplation card is reminding you that you've had a lot going on, a lot stir up, a lot shifting. And when we have all of that movement, there are times where we need to stop and take a breather. And in that stop and take a breather place, it's a great time to contemplate what the lessons were in all that was getting stirred up. You know, what was I meant to learn from this? Where was, what was the aha moment? Because when we really look at things, we can find that. And sometimes in contemplation, that means, connecting with your spiritual team. I really recommend automatic writing, and I know that's something that you use as well. So, in your contemplation, say, what was I meant to learn, to your spiritual team, and hear and receive the answer. And just allow that new awareness to kind of germinate, to create new flowers, to create new energy, to bloom new possibilities for you and your journey. So how sweet. I love that. All right, Carol. So your card, my dear, is ingenuity. I'm so excited. This card came up, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, and I hadn't ever pulled that card before. So I'm excited to see it again this week. So ingenuity is that there's some really cool genius energy that is flowing through. Don't freak out about the genius energy. That energy is when we have creative ideas and creative ways to problem solve things. We get stuck doing the same thing the same way over and over and expecting the results to change, right? So it's taking, a problem that you've seen for a while and coming up with a creative new solution to shift it and to release the problem. So I'm seeing a number of like these light bulbs go off, and it's like, oh, what if we did this? And oh my gosh, if we did that, then we could do this. And so it's like pop, 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 pop. I'm seeing these like bright thoughts that are coming through to help really shift something that's been stuck, and quite annoying. Because we get tired of, why can't this work? Why does this always have to be so hard? And it's because we're caught in a small thinking pattern. So, think about, how can I open my energy up to all of the divine possibilities? How can I release my personal restrictions, and open it up and let it happen? Because that's when those downloads pop in, and then they're fun to take the ball and get rolling. So this is great, because that genius energy is, it's big change. It creates big change for you and everyone around you. All right, Margaret. So Margaret, your card is Pathways. And the Pathways card, this is a hard card for a lot of people, because in the Pathway card, it means that you've come to a part of your life where you have some choices to make, and there's multiple paths, and you don't know which way to go often. And my team has been super clear about this a lot lately for people, is that there is no wrong pathway. So when we start to release which is the right one or which is the best one, and we just feel which one is calling to us the most right now, then we will have lessons to learn down that pathway. No matter which path you choose, you will move forward in your spiritual journey. This is just a moment where you have the free will to decide which lesson you're going to work on next as part of your soul's journey. And each path will have a slightly different lesson. And it doesn't mean you're going to miss anything. And that if you don't choose something, you'll never get to choose it again. All of these choices will come back to you when the new timing is right. So have fun. Just pick something that feels really good for you, and know that there's no right choice. That's why I keep hearing there's no right choice. They'll all be good for you, and they'll fill you on your soul's journey. All right. Have fun with that, Margaret. Martina, you have the Timeless Earth. So what I'm hearing for this card for you today is that, we get really wrapped up in time, that we feel anxious that we don't have enough time, or it's going to take too long for something to come. And when we put those restrictions on our thinking and on our spiritual team, we create a lot of anxiety that's unnecessary. So the earth energy is reminding us that we are connected, and when we're grounded, time and energy flows in that abundant space. So what I'm seeing is, as you ground, your ability to create and stretch time will happen. And that's happening when you're able to accomplish a bunch of things that don't seem possible. You have this huge to-do list, and you wipe it all out, and you still have time to play. that happens when we just get into the flow and we're grounded and we just move forward. But if we hold on to the restriction of, I don't have enough time to do this, then we create that. And we spend so much time in the anxiety of not having enough time that we are wasting time that we could be doing what we need to do. So remember that when you are really grounded and have challenging energy to face, you will be able to be in the flow, and it will happen easily and gracefully. It won't have to be, I just keep feeling all this anxiety about not having enough time. So that can get released by being super grounded and trusting that there is no time. We have plenty of time to get everything done that we need to. All right. All right, Rob. So your card is choice. So the choice card is very similar to the pathways card in a way. It's, this is inviting you. You can see the star on the throat chakra. It's inviting you to really reach in for your authentic truth and make a choice. There's no right choice here. Everything is going to lead you to where you're going. I feel like you are getting pulled in two different directions, and you feel like it's a tug of war. Like one is going to pull you one way and one is going to pull you another way. But the reality is, if you can imagine that they're both pulling you from the same direction, they're both pulling you toward your soul's journey. So you're not getting pulled right or wrong. They're both pulling you toward or fuller, authentic knowing of you. And when you feel that pulling, it's not a tug of war. The tug of war that you may be experiencing is you resisting the pull of the divine to help you along on your soul's journey. So the choice is making the choice will propel you forward rapidly on your soul's journey and where you want your soul to go. The not making the choice is actually what the tug of war is about. It has nothing to do with the two things you're deciding about. Both will propel you forward. It actually has to do with your ego self being afraid of choosing either. Does that make sense? And yet they're both right for you. Perfect for your soul's journey, actually. All right. Hope that helps. Dinah. Another one that's similar to this. So your card is everlasting life. So the everlasting life card is reminding us that we are a divine spirit, that our soul continues beyond this physical journey. So remember that our body is a vehicle that is housing this divine spirit right now. But that, there is no end. There is no death. There is no finish line because the soul lives on and we live on and we move forward. And we create a lot of stress and anxiety around the belief systems that, we're mortal, and that, again, I keep hearing that, we've only got so much time to do something, and it's so against who you are as a divine being. So really finding a way to understand that time is just a measuring device that we have here for our spiritual journey, but it has no relevance when it comes to our soul because it's just a blip in the moment of our experience and our learning. All right. Hope that helps. It's quite an interesting evening tonight, I guess. Nathan is next. So Nathan, your card is gratitude. Yes, it is gratitude. There are a couple cards that have the sunflowers on the bottom, and it depends on the color of the flower. So sometimes I'm like making sure. So the gratitude card is about how to heal your heart, how to heal the ways that, grief, unhappiness, disappointment, and old hurts have collapsed the brilliance that your heart energy can be. And it's not to say that your heart's not beautiful and brilliant right this moment, because it is. But there's a fullness that you can experience in your heart and in your connection. It'll connect you even more to your higher self. And the best gateway for that at the moment is to fill those places of sadness and disappointment with gratitude. Look for all the things in life that you're thankful for. It's a beautiful way to fill your day. When you want to get into a place of anxiousness or worry or stress, instead take a deep breath and start naming all the things that you're grateful for until the stress and the anxiety kind of move out of the way, because there's no room for fear when you're in that much love energy. And even if it's, I'm grateful for my cup of coffee this morning. I'm grateful for the ability to sleep until whatever time you get to sleep till. I'm grateful for the sun shining today, or the rain coming down and cleansing and feeding all the plants. Whatever it is, just allowing those moments of when something wants to come in and distract you in sort of an anxious, fearful way. Stop, take a deep breath, and start filling that with all the grateful thoughts that you can think of. And it'll help quite a bit. All right, Mimi, you have the Unity card. And I don't know if you can see, but there's like a woman's face above in the tree and hanging from the branches and down by the roots. So the Unity card comes when we've had some dissonance, we've had some separation with people. Maybe we've had different opinions and couldn't agree, because that's happening a lot on the planet right now, where it's hard for people to come together. And this is inviting you to find what you have in common versus what you have as differences. We tend to focus on all of the negative things on the planet these days, what's wrong with things. And we've stopped talking about what's right. And because we do that and we complain and we act that way, then it's really hard when we are in relationship with somebody, as a friendship, or work, or home, whatever it is. Because if you're in complaining mode about things, you end up complaining about people. And as a person, right, we might take that personally. And that creates this sense of judgment, resentment, disappointment, hurt, and that separates us. But if we can shift our focus to what's different about us, to what's the same, we both share the same love of chocolate ice cream, maybe. And so if I want to have a peace offering, I'm going to bring everybody together with chocolate ice cream and their own toppings, and everybody can have their own sundae. And maybe we can share a laugh, and maybe we all enjoy similar movies or shows or music that can bring us together, that can unify us in that sense of togetherness. We've been very focused on how separate we are. And so you're having this energy of it's time to bring people back together, and you're the one who can be the center of the tree, calling people back to the tree of life, back to the tree of your family, back to the tree of your job environment, whatever it is, but it's calling everybody back to home base and reminding them that we may be all different branches and we may be all different leaves, but we're all part of the same tree. Okay? All right. Jackie, hello. Your card is awakening. Phew. Glad someone is. So the awakening energy is that awareness that we are all connected. That awareness that what you do, what you say, how you behave impacts other people. And it's not to put you in a box or any of us in a box. It's meant to free us and show us that by being ourselves, we make space for other people to do that too. And as we awaken the true Jackie, as you are awakening your true Jackie, then you start to notice your true friend and your true family member and your true pastor, whoever it is. But it's you start to see the authentic person who is separate from behavior. So when we are asleep or not awake, we often judge people by their behaviors, and we treat their behaviors as who they are. And when you are awakening, you can start to see that there's a difference between the person. You can love the person and not like the behavior that the person is exhibiting, but it doesn't deplete the love, or it doesn't add conditions to the love. It's just that piece. So in that awakening energy, having some clarity about the people around you and separating their behaviors from who they truly are. And it's something we all are working on. Hopefully we're all working on that as sort of the human condition, because that helps us elevate our energy up into love, unconditional love. And it also helps people to want to be who they truly are, which then usually dissolves a lot of the behaviors that are difficult for us to deal with. All right. Okay, Christine. Geez, you guys got my throat chakra working today. So your card is persistence. Nice card. So the persistence card is keep at it. Keep going, and boy, I know how hard it is sometimes to get this card, because it's like, when is this going to speed up? When is this going to be faster? Well, part of the lessons that we go through, some of them include patience, and some of them include persistence. That drive and desire that we are going to continue this. And that all the obstacles that get thrown in our way are not going to deter us from who we are and where we are going. And we just keep going. We keep making our way through. And I feel like, it's like one of those video games where this, obstacle pops up and you've got to figure out how to get around it, over it, under it, through it. But you don't stop the journey of moving forward. You don't see the obstacle and then plop on the ground and go, I can't, now there's an obstacle. But we all know people who, when some circumstances pops up and it seems difficult, they do stop and they do allow the obstacle to keep them from moving forward. But you're somebody who's like, okay, here's another obstacle. How do I get over it, around it, through it, under it, dissolve it? What do I need to do? And if you are connected to the angelic realm, like if you feel connected to calling them in to help you, Archangel Nathaniel is really good at helping remove obstacles so that you don't have to work so hard as you're persisting. Or you can call in Ganesh from the Hindu gods, who's a very good remover of obstacles too, if that's something that resonates for you. Sometimes calling some reinforcements in can help us out. All right, let's see. We're on to Brenda Boyle. Hello, my dear. So your card is realization. Again, those blooming flowers, clouds overhead. The realization card is that aha moment, that moment of awareness, like, oh my gosh, that's what's been going on, or that's how this is going. So Brenda, as you are, you've been dealing with a bunch of things, there's going to be a moment, if you haven't already had it, where you go, oh my gosh, I've been going through this for this reason. I've been repeating a pattern that my mother did, or I'm repeating a pattern that my father did, or, oh my gosh, I just did, I've done this with 3 different friends and I don't want to do this anymore. I want to create a different pattern. When we have those aha moments, we're like, oh my gosh, how come I couldn't see that sooner? But don't beat yourself up. Be grateful. Be in that gratitude space of, finally, I'm seeing why this keeps happening. And now it doesn't have to happen anymore. Because lots of times that's your spiritual team poking you to make some sort of change in your life. And when we have the aha moment that we need to change and how we need to change, it happens like this. So I look forward to that rapid shift for you, because it sounds like it's right around the corner. All right. Emily. Nice. Yours is positive outcome. My goodness, look at how much these two cards are back to back. Look at how much they look the same, right? I love it. So the positive outcome is that, like, whatever you've been going through and dealing with, it's finally coming into an end. All the struggle, all of that, it's finally coming to an end. And in the place where it's coming to an end, be really aware that it's a positive ending. It's like, phew, that's the best thing that could have happened from this situation. The positive outcome card has come up for me when somebody has gotten married, and it was a beautiful day and a beautiful wedding, and everything was exactly the way they wanted it to be. So this is your version of that. So know that whatever's been like really challenging, really difficult, it's just coming all together and it's finally ending. And you're going to breathe this huge sigh of relief and be like, phew, made it through that. And I'm so excited. And make sure whenever we have that positive outcome that we're really excited about, celebrate and thank your spiritual team, because that way they will create more positive outcomes more rapidly for you in your life. All right. Nice. Glad to see a good one. All right. Hi, Aline. Nice to have you here. And your card, my dear, is trust. Trust is a great card, because trust is, you've got all the tools. You've got all the inner knowing. You've got that intuition. You have the sense. Some of your spiritual gifts are opening more fully, so you're starting to understand them, feel them, experience them. Trust what's going on for you. Trust inside that, you've got this. you don't need to seek other people's opinions. It's that leap of faith that we need to make as a light worker to trust our own intuition. Of course, if we're feeling wobbly about it, of course you can check in with other people. But remember, sometimes when we don't trust our own intuition, we're allowing other people to come in and put their energy into our situation. And they may have an opinion about it if they know what the situation is. So what this is saying is, you got this. Trust what you've got. Listen to it. Write it down. Say thank you every time. Yep, I got this one. I know what you want. Perfect. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And when you're being guided, listen. Don't second guess yourself. You've got this. All right? Nice. Minnie. Oh, yes, this is perfect for you. Illumination. Look at this beautiful tree all lit up in her divine spark. So now that you're grounded, now that you've got yourself more centered, now that you're in a place where you are really stepping into the true Minnie and the full Minnie and how you're going to do that, it's time for you to shine your light and really illuminate the way for other people. Because a lot of people struggle with how to find their grounded center, how to connect to their deepest, truest nature. And you know how to do that instinctively. And you bring that out in other people when you help them connect to Mother Earth and all of the gifts that she has for us, little treats for us that we can see and experience and feel. So don't be afraid to shine your light even brighter and allow more people to see Minnie. Come out of the dark. Not that you're in the dark. It's more like you're a little bit in hibernation. So come on out of hiding. We want to see you. We want to feel you and experience you and have, just think of your lighting the way. You're lighting the way for somebody else who's having a hard time finding their own true self and their own true voice. And you know how to help bring that out for so many people. So thank you, and share that, illuminate. Jackie. Of course. So your card, dear, is healing. So this card is, that's my spiritual team right up in front. You are going through a period of healing, and it may actually even feel like a healing crisis, which is what my team will sometimes call it. And a healing crisis is when you actually experience the healing in the physical realm, like you have aches and pains, or you might have like a UTI or something like that needs healing. But it also could be a lot of emotional things coming up, an emotional upheaval. But all of this is getting at some deep-seated healing that you need to experience. So how are you supporting yourself in your healing process? We don't need to be a victim. Oh, this is happening to me. We get to be in charge of, okay, so first of all, I'm going to take care of myself by sleeping better. I'm going to take care of myself better by eating better, exercising, getting out in nature if I need to. And, do I need my support team in on this? Do I need to see my chiropractor, my acupuncturist, my doctor, my naturopath, my energy worker? Who helps you as you heal? We don't have to do all of our healing work alone. And, thank goodness you're here, because this was you helping you. We're part of your spiritual team. You got to have some healing through the meditation. So know that you're going through this healing process, and that there's so many ways the divine wants to help you release all this old energy, so that you'll have this sense of being lighter and brighter and invigorated. Really, I feel a lot of energy coming in. So if you need help with that at all, there's a number of us healers as part of the Star Nations family, and you can always reach out to one of us if you need to tag team for a little energy or other type of healing, because we got you. All right, Lynn. Okay. So Lynn, your card is self-mastery. So the self-mastery card is, you've learned quite a lot. And now it's time to apply all of your learning. Sometimes we're seeking knowledge everywhere. We're reading books, and we're going to workshops, and we're listening to broadcasts, and we're doing all of this learning, and we have all this knowledge. Now it's time to bring it in and start applying it to our lives and to our journey. And in that application, we are in a place as a master to begin to help other people who are stumbling along their soul's journey. Because, you've got a little time in, there's those of us, we've been around the block, right? So we've been there, done that. And so we can share our wisdom with people who are newer and stumbling on their journey, and share what worked or didn't work for you, and the books that you read that might have helped, or just be that sort of guiding light, that coach that somebody else might need to get them back on their own 2 feet. So as we begin to integrate all of our knowing and all of our awareness, it helps us move into that place where we start to become a master of who we are, and then we can share it with others. So get out there and share it. We all need that. All right, Vicky. Okay. So Vicky, this is listen. And the listen card is, your spiritual team has been trying to talk to you or trying to give you messages. So what I'm seeing is just finding some ways for you to get quiet, to listen to your soul, your higher self, and how it's talking to you. Automatic writing is a great way to allow that to happen. And if you haven't done it before, you just begin by writing what needs to get dumped out of your brain, and then you can write a question, and then just allow yourself to answer it as fast as the answer comes in. Or you can just listen to hear if there's anything they want to say. But I'm also hearing from your team pretty loudly that they don't it's not all about the hearing. Listening isn't all about the hearing. It's about the sensation and the knowing that you're connected to your team, and that they are communicating to you, your angels, your guides. So look for, repetitive numbers, look for white feathers, look for pennies on the ground, look for animals that, you see in the sky and it draws your attention. It's not just a bird. If a bird flies over, and most of the time we're unaware of it, but if it catches our attention and we're like, whoa, that's a hawk, then that's a message. That aha of, oh, that's that. Or, oh my gosh, did you see that deer on the side of the road? Well, get right in there and be, looking up, even if it's on your phone, totem meaning of a deer, totem meaning of a hawk. And then you'll see how much that corresponds with what you've been thinking about and what you've been asking for guidance. And then it'll reinforce all the ways that your team can connect to you. But sometimes we need to be quiet. It's hard to hear, If we're always talking, then we're not being quiet enough to listen. And that's a great message for all of us. Thank you, Vicki. All right, Bobby. Of course. So your card, my dear, is Gateway. So the Gateway card, I don't know if you can see, there's a door at the base of the tree, then there's a star, and then there's a white light, and then a higher white light. So with the Gateway, it's opening up your crown chakra to the divine connection at its fullest, opening up your intuition so that you can receive the guidance and hear it and know it, opening up your throat, which is where the star is, and allowing the truth to come through, the divine message. And then the Gateway, and I talked about this last week on chakra sessions about the Gateway. There's a spot in your body where it's the doorway to your soul. And it's also the doorway to all of the knowledge of the universe, not just what's available to humanity, but what has been and will be and is for the entire cosmos. And so this is inviting you to start connecting with that most deepest truth. And when we connect with that central gateway, that gateway allows us to experience the knowledge without any emotions attached. Our ego body can't get upset or nervous or afraid of the information. It just comes in as straight truth. And we all know that there's times when we want to cut to the chase and we want the truth to come through in its purest form, and we'll just deal with it in the knowing. So it's using that gateway to access what you're asking for. And I have an oil that got created for that. It's called the Central Gateway, and it helps teach your energy body how to connect to that and how to open that. But last week's chakra sessions has a meditation to do that, to help remind you how to connect to it if you need that as well. Okay? Use that gateway to connect to that deeper knowing. All right, Cindy Lynn. Yes, you are here. So your card, my dear, is Encounter. So the Encounter card is about really expanding your awareness when you're out and about, because your spiritual team is trying to bring someone or something to you, and you're literally going to run into it or run across it. So we have to be wide awake and observant of our surroundings to actually notice when we've had an encounter. Notice when we talk to somebody and they say exactly what we've been needing to hear. You know, we ask our team a message and we don't hear anything, and then we go to the grocery store and then the cashier says literally almost the exact answer that we were looking for or waiting to hear. And I don't know if you've had this experience very many times, but when you have it, there's this sense of like, oh my gosh, you know, that really answered my question. And often the person who you run into is like, I don't know where that came from. Or I don't know why I said that to you. It's that they got used as an earth angel for you. You also might be an earth angel for someone else. So, but this is really, I keep hearing that you are the one who is meant to have the encounter, and it may be the exact person that you need. Like you're looking for a new dentist and you run into this really nice woman in the grocery store and you find out she's opened a new dental practice and you're like, I'll be your patient. It can be that smooth and that easy, but we have to be aware and paying attention. And then we can have those great encounters. All right, Sally. Of course. Your card is Priority. Boy, this one is one we all need. The the priority is, it's time to make you a priority. We have, these to-do lists, and we have everything that we need to do for other people and on our job, and we never make it to the list. It's very rare that we set aside distinct times. Like, this is my time to read. This is my time for me to take a tubby. This is my time to watch a movie I want to. This is my time to sit outside and have a cup of coffee. This is my time to go play with friends. You need to make yourself a priority, because nobody else will. And we all have our little calendars where everything's scheduled. Start scheduling Sally time into your schedule. And I'm hearing this like very persistent, I mean it. You need to do this, because otherwise we get super burnt out. And then when we get really sick or injured or something happens, then we get all this time and we don't get to enjoy it. So when we make ourselves a priority, we are in a space where we're calling the shots on our time off, and that we get to do what we want to do, rather than the universe going, you need a break, and if you don't take one, we're going to give you one. So I highly recommend you make you a priority before the universe does. All right. Kimberly. Nice. Good card. So your card is the abundance card. Woohoo! About time, right? So the abundance card is everything is lining up for you. Please don't doubt it. Remember that when you go into a place of doubt, you close your crown chakra and you cut down how much energy is able to flow down into your creations. You're wanting to create some really cool big things that are huge for you and your family, and really for the planet. So you need to be as wide open and as full-hearted as you can be. So, there's a lot of energy that's coming in to flow and fill with these places. So I'm hearing the same thing I heard for someone earlier, which is fill all of those places with gratitude. And if you have a moment where you're second guessing or doubting, stop in that moment and start naming all the things you're thankful for. Because you don't want that energy to take root and start creating like a weed system through your abundant flow. Because you're in it and you deserve it. And don't allow yourself space for anybody else to control your abundance, because nobody can control it but you. Does that make sense? All right. Nice. Christina. This is kind of funny. Strategy. I don't know if this is more for you or for me or for us, right? It's probably a bunch of it all tied together, right? All intertwined. So strategy is just that. Like, there's a lot of things that are up in the air, and we can get into a place of overwhelm when we don't plan accordingly. And no, it's not your knowledgeable achiever who's going to make the strategy. It's your inner child. Because your inner child knows how to create play in all of the things that we need to accomplish. So let the inner child create games within the strategy. Have these rewards built in for accomplishing things, so that it doesn't feel like this never-ending to-do list. Because we all could be that way. Every single day we have something that we need to do. And if we feel like it's never ending, then that's what we create. But if we can see our accomplishments, check them off, reward, like, yes, these 6 got done. And now I get to have, a 5-minute dance party, whatever it is. But remember, it's not that rigid part of you that needs to create the strategy. It's the playful part of you who can turn it into a game. All right, Angela. Nice to have you here. Your card is resolution. So this is good because, it feels like there's been some chaos going on, a number of different things going on for you, and maybe a little conflict. And it's all coming together. It's all finishing. There'll finally be an answer and a energy of completion. Resolution comes in when we have to get into a space of compromise. And that just happens when people get so stuck in my way is right and your way is wrong. And in terms of how the universe sees it, you're both right. So how do we bring those two separate visions together so that we can finish this and move forward? Because when you get stuck, you get caught in this tug of war and nobody gets anywhere. Nobody goes anywhere. And it wastes all your energy and your time and your focus. And it keeps you from moving forward. So looking for that way to bring unity to the energy that isn't, I'm seeing it as kind of like a conflict, like they're not getting along and nobody's listening. Everybody's yelling and talking at each other, but they're talking at each other and nobody's stopping, breathing, and actually listening. So resolution comes when everybody can be quiet and hear somebody all the way through all of their concerns and all of the things that they need addressed. And then you are able to do the same, and you realize that you have a lot more in common than you have different, and bring those common threads together and let the differences fall. And then you'll have a nice, beautiful resolution. All right. Phew. We all need that card today too. All right, Mary. You guys are on a roll. So this one is the truth card. So this is one of those times where, all right, sometimes we bite our tongue, right? Because we don't want to cause waves. We don't want to create conflict. But when we do that, we're denying a part of ourselves, where we're not staying in our integrity. We're not standing in our own personal truth. So this is kind of, I'm just going to say it the way my team is saying it. So I hope you get it. It's time to put on your big girl panties and stand up for you and take charge. And in that place, you tap into your truth that comes from your heart. So feel the truth, your actual truth, not your woundedness, not your hurt, but the real truth of the matter. Feel it deep in your heart and allow it to be spoken and expressed. And doing so from a really loving place, then other people can actually hear you when you speak that way. And, nobody's been brave enough to do that. Everybody's been sort of walking on eggshells around something. So it's time for somebody to step up, and that somebody is you. And that happens to us as spiritual leaders. Sometimes we have to show the way so that others can follow. So please light this way and really use your authentic truth, because the truth will set you free and everyone else around you. All right. Judy. Oh, of course. Always have time. So this is the reflection card. And the reflection card, we've had similar ones today where it's that sensation of there's been a lot going on. And now that it's sort of dissipating and things are calming, the waters are calming around you, it's time to kind of like look in the water and kind of see you know, what those ripples meant, and how it impacted you. It's about checking in with your soul and your soul's growth and what's going on. And it's a lot like the contemplation card, but this is more of life is a mirror for who we are inside. So what has been happening outside, if it's been chaotic, then know there's some chaotic energy inside that's trying to release and clear. So as the energy around you is calming enough for you to go into reflection, the energy inside you is calming too. So you can start to see what was moving out of your system and what you were growing and learning from. And when we honor our spiritual growth, then we can leave those lessons behind and begin to move forward on a new aspect of our journey. So there's always that moment where it helps to kind of, you know, gather ourselves together and honor what we've learned and gone through, and then we can release it and move on. All right, time for that. All right, Andrew. Nice fertility card. What are you creating? What are you trying to create? There's a lot of creation energy for you, sir. So what are you trying to create? What are you trying to bring out for others to share? What is ready to be birthed? And it doesn't have to be children, you know, but some people freak out if they see fertility. They're like, more kids, which is not a bad thing. It's not always a bad thing, but some people freak out about that. Fertility is about, we've got a lot of creation energy. It can be used for business plans. It can be used to create a painting. It can be used to make a new amazing food dish, whatever it is. But there's this it's like the soil that you're planted in right now is really ready to grow something new in it. So I feel like don't waste the energy. You've got all of this beautiful creation energy that wants to get used. How can you use it? Remember to focus your attention and your intention clearly on your desires, and really laser focus on what that is and how you want to create it. And lots of stuff is going to start blooming for you, which is so cool. I look forward to hearing about that. But get those ideas planted quickly while you have that fertile energy, that fertile ground to grow it in before we head into winter, right? We want to get it in the ground, get those bulbs in the ground. All right, Brienne. Nice. Your card is blessing. So the blessing card is, you know, it has this twofold energy. It's reminding you that you are a blessing. You are a divine blessing. And just your presence is healing for other people. When we stand in our light and shine our light, we are a blessing for someone because we become their earth angel. We become the messenger. We become a mirror for who they can be too. But this is also, there's a piece of this where there is something that's coming to you that is a blessing for you as well. And when we are in a place where we receive the blessing, it's so important for us to go to a place of gratitude. And the blessing may be another person really helping you out, taking time to, share their expertise on something that you need help with, and what a blessing that can be, and letting them know that they're a blessing to you. And sometimes it's for somebody who, they're coming in to show us some new aspect of ourselves. And it's like a blessing for us to be able to focus and see who we truly are through the eyes of another person. So really sharing the fact that you are a blessing and that the people who come into your life and create blessings for you, to let them know that too. All right. Esperanza. Oh my goodness. I haven't seen you in a while. Hey, Earth Angel. So the Earth Angel energy, this is a great card for you, for everyone. Remember, see, there's two women in this. It's that knowledge that there are times that other people, it's very similar to Brienne's card. There are times that somebody is there to be the messenger for you, to give you guidance, to help you, to guide you, and to be your support when you need it. But the flip side is that we are also an earth angel to others. So how are you loving, supporting, helping other people as well? And in this space, it's a remembrance that we don't, to be in balance and to be in harmony, we're both. We're both the receiver of the messages and the energy and the healing, and we're also the giver and the sharer of our talents and our abilities and our time. So to bring yourself into harmony, and I'm feeling to give you a more grounded place to land. The grounded place to land is when you are not only being the earth angel, but you are allowing earth angels to come in and assist you as well. We can't always be the giver. Sometimes we need to be the receiver. Otherwise, we're out of sync. We're out of balance and we get ungrounded. All right. So Jen, my goodness, you're from Australia. Welcome. Great to have you here. So your card is contribution. And see the heart that is at the root of the tree. How cool is that? So what I'm hearing is there's this sort of love project for you. That is very grounded. It's very much rooted in who you truly are. And when we bring that part of us, that when we're really being our authentic self, when we're really truly being who we are and sharing that with others, how can you share your light with other people? How can you contribute to people around you? And this is not a financial thing. We hear the word contribution and we think we have to open our pocketbook and we have to start writing a check. That's not what this is about. This is about how can you give your time to someone who needs it, who could use a helping hand. You have a friend who needs to move and you offer to help pack boxes. You know, maybe you can't lift them, but maybe you can help pack them. Or maybe you can be the one to cook the meal for them when they arrive in their new place because they're going to be too tired to cook. And you cook for everybody who does the heavy lifting. That can be your contribution. And we all have situations where we can lend a hand without, giving our whole arm, right? Because sometimes we say yes and then we get dragged into something. And so we say no so that we can protect ourselves. But there are ways that we can help without losing ourselves and without losing our boundaries around our time and our value and things like that. So it's like, how can you help out right now? What can you contribute to your community, to your friends, to your family that would be of service to them? Because when we do that contribution, then we receive that from other people. So when we're in a place of being in need, then they show up for us too. Okay? Nice. Thank you for coming and being here. Christina. I think it's Christina Rossi. That's who I have on my list. So I'm going to do that for Christina. And it's the forgiveness card. Yes. Can you see the swirls of energy going up the tree and all of that? So forgiveness has been a big thing lately. Because we've had a lot of difficult energy to go through. Sometimes we have hurt or disappointment that we're carrying, or sadness that things didn't work out quite the way we would like them to. And so we need to get ourselves to a place where we are willing to start forgiving ourselves for being in a situation where we got hurt, we got sad, we got disappointed, and sending forgiveness energy out to the person for us receiving what they said or what they did in a way that we received it as hurt, and maybe that wasn't the way they meant to send it out. And even if they did mean to send it out in a hurtful way, we can only control our own healing. We can only control who we are. And when we walk around in a wounded place, then that's all we're sharing with other people is our woundedness. So this is a time where it's time to call in the forgiveness energy, and the time to really activate that part of you that is ready to heal. Like your heart and your third chakra are really ready to heal. Your self-worth, your self-esteem are really ready to be filled with unconditional love. And so, finding a way to do that. And there's a number of oils that you can use. If you use essential oils, you can message me through chakra sessions, and I'll give you some ideas on ones that will work if that's something you're interested in. All right, Jacqueline, now it's your turn. You need this card. You need the tapestry card. So the tapestry card is, lots of times our life and our circumstances have to kind of get ripped apart at the seams, right? All the pieces are thrown in a bunch of different directions. Tapestry card comes in when it's time to start weaving together all of those strands to create a new story, a new you, a new life. And we get to choose which strands of the tapestry we're going to bring back in. If you have a bad experience with somebody, you leave that strand out of your new tapestry, of your new blanket, of your new you. It's like, I don't need to bring hurtful conversations with this other person and have it be part of who I am, right? That is something that happened to me, but it is not me or who I am. So you get to weave back in this healing manner those pieces that are most intrinsically Jackie and that are most authentic for you. So it's that time to start pulling back together all the things that bring you joy, that fill you with love, that create excitement and that spark in you, and having those be the core of who you are, rather than the wounds or the hurts of the past. That energy can be unwoven. It is still an essence of how you got to where you are, but it doesn't have to be the main fabric of your being. All right, that's good for all of us. Oh my goodness, Susan is in the house. Hello. I haven't seen you in forever. We need to chat. So, babe, your card is action. Look at all this swirling that's going on. All this ungroundedness. I love it. So the action card is, there's a lot of energy going on for you, around you, through you. And we can get caught in the spinning, or we can get it rooted into the ground and allow all that energy to push us forward to take action. So what is it that it's time for you to propel yourself forward on your soul's journey? The spinning is the what ifs and the could be's and this is what happened in the past. And it's like, it's not energy that's actually here right now. It's energy that's trying to influence you from your past. It's your ego and your saboteur, throwing up smoke and trying to create illusions of things that aren't true. So instead, use all this excess energy that's been swirling, get it grounded, and see what you can actually do with it. Because you have all this energy. You're meant to do something with it. You're not meant to spin with it. You're meant to take action, to be a leader in change. How cool. And I would love to chat with you about it because it sounds really awesome. All right, Brandy. I'm glad you found me. I'm glad you're here. So here you are. So this is the patience card. What a great card for you. So the patience card is, you know, lots of things come up and we want it to happen in a hurry. We want it to happen yesterday. We're in this fast technology place. And when we're like used to things happening at a rapid fire pace, when our spiritual team says, nope, you need to learn how to breathe. You need to learn how to slow down. And it's going to come to you when it's going to come to you. You're in that kind of place right now. And so in that place, it's okay, let's breathe and let's just be. And the more patient you are, the faster your spiritual team will send you the next thing. And the more we're tapping our foot and looking at the clock and tapping the time, the farther we push that energy out. So it's saying to you right now, you're in a place where you're being tried for your patience. And we all have those lessons at least a few times a year where we have to just let go and allow it to happen in its own speed and its own time. And when we take the stress off of it, the worry off of it, the anxiety off of it, you'll notice that it'll slide right in and you won't even know why you weren't patient to begin with. But the more we worry, the more we stress, the more we amp up our energy, the longer we have to wait. All right. Nice. Glad you were here. All right, Rachel. Oh my God, Rochelle. Sorry about that. Don't know what that is. I guess I have a Rachel I need to pull a card for sometime. So yours, Rochelle, is acceptance. There's a lot going on. Boy, has that been the theme tonight. And when we wish things to be different, we create this energy of not enough, not good enough, and then our spiritual team doesn't know what to send us when we aren't grateful for what we receive. So when we get to a place of acceptance, I am who I am. I am the size that I am. I am the age that I am. And I'm okay with that because that's me right now. And if I were shaming myself or blaming myself or going through any of that, then my team would stop sending me things because they wouldn't know. Now, if I want to create a different thing than I have, then it's up to me to envision that and ask for it and shift it. But when we're in a place of acceptance of this is my circumstance right now, and part of my lesson right now is to learn how to navigate this situation, to navigate this energy, and to stay in my integrity and to stay connected to the divine and understand that everything is happening the way it's meant to happen. And there's just a side note that of you are also spending a lot of time taking care of others, and you're depleting, your own energy is getting depleted a little bit. So please remember to do some of your own self-care, because that's the only way you're going to have enough energy to help caretake other people. And so if that means you need to go to bed early, or it means you need to phone a friend to step in and take over for you so you can take a nap, then do that as well. Okay. But You are perfect the way you are, and you've got this. The situation is not going to get the best of you. All right, I think that's our last card. So my next card is for Neshi, because I always pull a card for her for being my co-pilot, and see what she's got today, which is nature. And I'm trying not to laugh because I'm hearing that you need to get out in nature. You've been behind the computer too much lately, and you better call your friend Minnie and help her remind you how to get out there in nature. And I know you're going to go visit her and hang out with her and do some nature time, but you have a perfect space outside where you could give yourself 15 minutes a couple times a day, where you just go out and take a little walk, or you take a breather to reboot your energy, because nature's calling. All right, guys, with that, I hope to see you next week on Chakra Sessions on Tuesday at noon. We're going to do a replay because I am going to be away. And I just decided to be away because my husband's on vacation and time is short. So I'm going to make sure to spend time with him. But I will be back with you guys next Wednesday evening on Soul Connections at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for you to be here for your self-care and for your divine messages. And, you know, if you feel compelled to move your healing to the next level, come join us at Star Nations Academy, October 11th through the 13th, for an empowerment weekend where we do in-depth healing, releasing, laughing, crying, and create our own spiritual awakening journey. So join us for that right at Star Nations Academy. And I will see you guys next time and next week. Bye. Have a great one.